Now let's talk about what's happening in the United States of America and how it relates to us here. The Chamber of Petroleum Consumers is asking consumers to brace up for doubling of fuel prices here in Ghana should the geopolitical tensions between the U.S. and Iran continue for even the next few days. In its alert issued following the tensions, it said government must immediately begin buying and stocking up crude from the international market to minimize the shocks which would be unleashed. We'll hear from the executive director of COPEC shortly. Calls for revenge are growing louder as thousands gather in the Iranian capital Tehran for the funeral of Qasem Soleimani, the top Iranian military commander whose assassination last week in an air raid by the United States in Baghdad has brought the two countries here in the first place. Soleimani, the head of Iran's elite Quds force, was killed along with Abu Mahdi al-Mohandis, the deputy commander of Iraq's Popular Mobilization Forces, an Iran-backed umbrella organization comprising several militias, while several other people were also killed in the attack. Iran says it will not miss a beat in retaliation as it warns it will target U.S. military sites. It is unclear where, when, and how. But on Twitter, U.S. President Donald Trump has issued a chilling warning to Iran not to attempt retaliation. That is the statement there put on President Donald Trump's Twitter handle, in which he says the United States just spent $2 trillion on military equipment. We are the biggest and by far the best in the world. If Iran attacks an American base or any American, we will be sending some of that brand new beautiful equipment their way and without hesitation. President Donald Trump there. Well, in the last few days, oil prices have hiked to some of the highest and could affect how much you buy your petrol or how much you pay for the public transport here in Ghana. I want to take you through the chart, what it looks like, what the crude prices are looking like on the international market. Check it out on your screen right now on the 1st of December. On the 1st of December, you see that the prices stabilize. The prices stabilize from the 1st of December until by 3rd January, it just goes all the way up. So by 1st December, it was selling around $61 per barrel by 1st of December. Well, that assassination attack on Iran's military head happened on the 3rd of January, and just then it went all the way up to about $64 per barrel, and it's been hovering around that amount between the 3rd of January all the way up until today. And if you look at the trend carefully, even today it looks like it is still going up on that trail. And this is what brings us to the concerns here in Ghana as the U.S. and Iran engage in what looks like the brink of a deadly war. World War III has already been trending on social media, although both countries say they do not want to go to war. We'll hear from an economist and an oil lifting professional shortly. Yes, who hit the street of Tehran mourning the military top official there. Let's go there and hear some sounds from there.
الحمد لله الذي أكرم المستشهدين في سبيله. الحمد لله الذي رزقنا الشهادة في سبيله. الحمد لله الذي رزقنا الجهاد في سبيل الإسلام. الحمد لله الذي أكرم المستشهدين في سبيله الحمد لله الذي رزقنا الشهادة في سبيله الحمد لله الذي رزقنا الجهاد في سبيله.
So that is Tehran there, and that's how they're mourning the loss of that military leader who is also a right-hand or known to be a right-hand man of the supreme leader there. Whilst they're mourning, the United States is warning warning them against retaliation. Well, let's hear an economist, Charles Mensah, who's joining us on the phone. We look at how these tensions are fueling the hikes in fuel prices and the implications that it has for countries like Ghana. Mr. Mensah, thanks for your time this afternoon.
Well, thank you very much. And a point of correction, I'm a financial analyst, not an economist.
Financial analyst, thank you very much for that correction. I just want to find out, let's start this conversation by you telling us what you make of all that's happening between Iran and United States of America and how it boils down to Ghana.
I think it's an unfortunate situation. Basically, it would have impact on our finances in the world, and it's also having impact on Ghana. It's likely because as a commodity-led country, anything that affects the commodity market affects us. We have the oil. We are dependent largely on the oil production, and we also import crude. Now, if you look at it critically from the point of the pricing, even our national budget for 2020, we use oil price, we pegged it around $50. And now it's hovering almost around $70 as we speak. And analysts are predicting in the range of 85 to 90, and that would be very outrageous. It means that you and I have to pay more cedis to use crude, and it's going to have a serious impact on them. But BSMA, there is some positive aspect of it in terms of the gold prices, because it has become a safe haven for people to now look at where they can put their investment and put it in a place which is protected. So you notice that gold prices, as we speak, is moving around 1,600 to 1,610 thereabout, and people are predicting 1,007. In the budget, we use 1,470. So it has some mixed feeling for us. But the point is that it is indeed an unfortunate situation that hopefully something ought to be done about it, because it will have impact on our finances as Africa or as an emerging country.
And talking about the sort of impact this can have on Ghana, the COPEC is putting in some suggestions to government. They're saying that government should stock up, buy up fuel, stock up. Is that for you a feasible intervention?
No, I think they are mixing the issues. In terms of cover, I think we have enough. It is the pricing that may affect us, because you see, if you have a forward pricing arrangement of, let's say, the next 90 days fixed at a certain rate, whatever happens in the market, you will still be supplied with those quantities. But if you don't have that thing, they would affect you. It's not about the physical stocking of the items. I mean, at least we have a stock cover from the bust and all of us, so that way we are okay. But it's the pricing. It's the pricing that we are afraid that it could affect us. It's a risky thing to do the forward buying, because what if by tomorrow or in the next 2 weeks, common sense play a role, and then the war, is averted? It means that the prices that you may have predicted that you're going to buy at a certain price will come down, and that can also affect you. So it's a risky thing that you got to use cool heads to do analysis and look at your downside effect also, and then do something about it. But it is an unfortunate situation. It's not just Ghana. It is something that the world quickly have to do something about it.
I would like to wrap up the conversation with you by asking you what you think Ghana must do. You've talked about, cool heads, analysis and all of that, but I want to read for you portions of a news report by a news report online, and it talks about the reason why we'll have to pay more because of what's happening between Iran and the United States of America. It says that around 1/5 of the world's oil supply passes through the Strait of Hormuz, which is a narrow choke point between Iran and the Arabian Peninsula. There is a crucial point for international energy market there. It goes on to say that the 21-mile wide channel is the only way to move oil from the Persian Gulf out into the world's oceans, which is why traders would hike prices by up to about 2 pence a litre. And the fact that filling up a typical 55-litre family car could hit around £70 in the United Kingdom for an unleaded petrol, and then 73 pounds for diesel. Obviously a hike there. Why should the the movement of petrol, for example, why should the movement of diesel necessarily bring us any effect here in Ghana if we're to look at the potential trickling down effect?
My dear, it is a demand and supply. I mean, if you cannot move a certain quantity from within that region to the refined area, there's nowhere that will have more volumes in the market. So it means that the little that is left in the market, most people will rush for it, and therefore it will affect the prices. So it is a volume business, and like I suggested earlier on, I think we need cool heads here, because the amount of volume of crude from that region is quite a lot. We, Ghana, Angola, and Nigeria, we are doing some numbers, but the point is that if our numbers is okay, then we consider we are comfortable because we are not in that region. But the key point is that volumes out there, demand out there is huge, and supply will be limited because of the war or the potential of it. And therefore, once the volumes are not coming, prices will go up. And if prices goes up, it affects the ordinary man on the street. It affects the food. It affects transportation. It affects almost every other thing. And one of the things that I'm also worried about, which we don't have enough time, is that we are likely to be hit by a cyber attack also, not Ghana, but in the world, because Iran always hit America with cyber attack, and that can also affect the technology world. And that's also a critical point, that this is a time that people have to look at their technology and see the protection that they can bring onto bear.
Very interesting point you have raised there. Already, there are reports that some United States sites sort of have been hacked, and I'm yet to look up those reports carefully. But you talk about gold prices and the fact that this could actually be a positive for Ghana, how investors will then be looking elsewhere, and how they will be targeting, for example, gold. What, in your opinion, can Ghana do to, make the most out of this rather unfortunate situation, and also to protect ourselves from the effects?
It's just to rack up the volumes in the most of the mining sector. I mean, it's a good point for those in the mining sector. So just to push on more volume. If it means that they have to work 24/7 to push more volumes out there, this is a demand time. So go and grab it, because if you don't grab it now, and the situation, is minimized, we won't get that opportunity again. So in both worlds, there is a bigger opportunity for us. So all the mining companies, a bigger opportunity for them to do more volumes, because people are cashing out from the stock market because the share prices are going down. Yeah. And when they are cashing out, definitely they have to invest it somewhere, and people are taking rather to invest in the gold, which is number one now, and possibly before they can look at the dollar reserves as part of their calculation. But I think the good news is that there's a gold is going up, and we should take advantage of that. It means that we have to work in shifts, and that can also help the system. So it's a bad situation. At the same time, if you look at it, I see everything as an opportunity to take advantage of, either to protect yourself or to make money out of it.
To protect yourself or to make money out of it. I think you've addressed for me carefully how to make money out of it, but to protect yourself, what can Ghana do? Some people have said, and we're not even talking about the international relations aspect of it. We're just looking at the trickling down effect of this tension. But what can Ghana do in terms of protecting ourselves from what is happening between Iran and the United States?
You see, there are a couple of things. If it has to do with the attacks, for instance, if it has to do with they targeting any American investment out there, that means that as long as American investments are in Ghana, we have potential for attack. If it's to do with the cyber attack, like I suggested earlier on, it means that if American subsidiaries here, we will be subjected to. So these days, there's nowhere one can say, I'm in a small village, it has nothing to do with me. It is just a way of looking at the risk, analyzing it, and making sure that the linkages are done right, the protection is done right, so that in an event that something should happen in terms of the cyber attack, at least we can restore businesses and they'll be back and running as like no other business. And that's the key point here, that we must protect ourselves very much. So you have to do risk analysis of all your things and then see how you can protect yourself, my sister.
Possibility of making money of a bad situation, and also the alert to protect ourselves. Sir, thank you so much. I think that you've raised very important issues. I'm sure we'll have more of this conversation because these are very early days yet, and this is still a developing story. Charles Mensah there, who joined us via Skype. He's a financial analyst, helping us to look at what is happening in the United States of America and Iran, or between these two countries, the trickling down effect on us as a country, and what Ghana can do out of that situation. Well, like I said, we will follow up on this. Certainly, it is a developing story.